Hello. Oh, hey, Spot.
Gee, I could really go for some cool spot. Actually, no, I'm a liar. I hate
this
soda.
one.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spot Goes to Hollywood, the sequel made by Eurocom.
Oh, 1995.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Tallarico.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, Eurocom, the same
company who gave us Crash
Bash. That's all they're really remembered for. Are they alive now?
I love how the Hollywood heel is a photorealistic impressed sprite of the Hollywood heel.
Alright, so Spot Goes to Hollywood is a sequel to Virgin's Cool Spot. And
look at those 3D graphics in the background.
yeah, this came out in 1995. It was one of the later Mega Drive games.
This was when we were on the cusp of 3D in games starting to be all the rage, but not quite fully attained. And no, Sonic 3D was a lie. That's isometric, not 3D, you hacks.
Anyway, yeah, basically, this is the sequel to that. It wasn't made by Dave Perry and his team because at the time they already had left Virgin to found Shiny Entertainment. So Virgin got Eurocom to work on it. However, there was one key person from the first game that did return, Tommy Tallarico, the composer, and this is actually my personal favorite of the soundtracks he's made in his career.
How weird! So the Cool Spot game that's remembered more fondly than the first, and it doesn't have the iconic team with the iconic animations, was possibly done better by Eurocom, huh? You know, I mean, no offense to the first game, but well,
oh, it's isometric
first game.
It is it is isometric too. However, it's one of the better games that I would argue with this aesthetic. It works out fine enough. I would argue.
I'll just start this up by saying, like 'em or hate 'em, it's got all the great things, but also all the bad things about an isometric platformer. You know, draw distance can be iffy, but it has a nice feel to
So yeah,
it.
the concept of this game is that Spot is going through various stages that are inspired by Hollywood movies. In this case,
pirates.
I'm sorry, a shark that is apparently fused with the ship is swimming around here. Part of the ship, part of the crew. But seriously though, I thought it was weird enough in Puppeteer, but here the shark is literally... Wait, oh my god, wait. It's painted blue around there, the shark is swimming in it.
Alright, despite being...
Joy! They predicted Splatoon back in 1995, oh my god.
Yeah, Splatoon ripped this off. Anyway...
also, you're correcting weird objects that are tied. Also, Yago, that are tied to the set.
They go for points, Teo. In this game, it's abundantly clear that Eurocom is using the same engine that they used for their Jungle Book game, because the live system works exactly the same. Basically, notice that bottom left icon there. It only shows up when I get hurt. Basically, it wears out like it's like a fucking container of liquid every time you get hurt or something, and then when it gets empty, you die. And you can replenish your health by collecting any objects that are food related, like steak and stuff like that. Like this one, for example. There you go. See, it even shows the life bar again. However, just despite being an isometric platform, it still retains the core elements of the first game, where you have to collect spots in order to be able to complete the level. However, you're not rescuing your friends in this one. This one is a...
So...
Go ahead.
Sorry.
This one is a bit...
Way, this is...
Go ahead.
So, in a way, this is kind of like the Zelda 2 to the first game, Zelda 1,
yeah,
you know?
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, okay, it's like, well, technically, the goal and missions of the gameplay are the same, it's just the way the gameplay actually goes is different, you know? Sort of like how... funnily enough, Zelda went from being a top-down 3D move-around to a 2D platformer, whereas Spot went from being a 2D platformer to, well, not exactly top-down 3D, but yeah, kind of pretty much a similar idea.
My guess is they were trying to capitalize on that trend that a lot of Mega Drive games were having back in this year, because Light Cruiser also came out during this year, which also has an isometric. 1995 was the year of isometric games, apparently.
Yeah, basically games really wanted to be 3D.
Yeah.
They weren't really, like, let's be quite honest, isometric. There's a reason you don't see a lot of isometric.
The Mega Drive wasn't capable of that.
Well, not even just that. It's like, there's a reason you don't see a lot of people do isometric.
Also, this music is amazing, by the way.
Yeah, I can hear
now,
that.
I have a bit of a confession. Even though this is the better of the two games, I'm not as familiar with this game as I am with the first one. Like, I know.
There you go. Even though it's not made by Virgin, we still have the classic good animations. Spot on!
Yeah.
And here's your password. And by the way, as we complete levels, the storyboards get colored, so that's a nice touch. Another ship hold.
Pedro, does this one have a story in the manual?
I don't remember. Feel free to check if you want.
All right.
This particular track is one of my favorites.
Are we going to Never Never Land?
Sure, why not? Anyway, yeah, basically, earlier we were in the ship, now we're in the ship hold. So basically, the levels, even though there's no in-level transitions, the levels do follow, for the most part, they do follow a logical transition of sorts. Think of it like think of this as the Act 2 to the previous level's Act 1 of sorts. There you go. So basically, yeah, it's a platformer, and unlike the first, much like the first game, exploration is much more There's platforming, don't get me wrong, and there's going to be even more platforming as we move on. However, much like the first game, this is more of an explory platformer rather than an arcade-style platformer. So basically, it's all about exploring to find items, find secrets, all that good stuff. Again, this is the same kind of common design that the original NES DuckTales made popular back in the day.
Again, like I said, it's so weird. Like, even though we have a completely new developer, they still managed to incorporate most of the charm that the originals did, and, you know, it works well.
That's not surprising, because I'm pretty sure there were some guidelines from Virgin on, like, to preserve the key elements or something. Anyway, go ahead.
Admittedly, I guess it being an isometric platformer, they don't really have to make as many animations because, well, yeah, isometric platformers didn't really want to curb up the difficulty too much because, yeah, people would be calling foul at that. Let's not forget draw distance was sort of an issue here. So I guess there's not as many animations for you dying or wacky stuff here and there because, well, isometrics kind of had to be a bit more simplistic here and there for the sake of the devs' sanity.
Pretty much what you said, yeah.
Oh, a treasure chest.
Yes. Hopefully it's worth it for one.
However, in order to open it, you have to find a key somewhere in the level.
Oh.
It's not enough you put me around sharks. Now I gotta find your blasted key. It's probably up there.
It's exploration and shit. Anyway, yeah. All right. That's so. Yeah. Once again, collect as many dots as you want. Like Jova.
Yeah.
Why is the music so good? Shouldn't Tommy be limited to the Mega Drive sound chip? And, you know, shouldn't this sound worse?
Well, I mean, even Nintendo as early as the NES showed that if you make a melody good and iconic enough sounding...
Yeah, I know. I agree, Joe, but it's not just the melody that's catchy. The instrumentation. I fucking love the instrumentation of this track. I mean, it doesn't even sound like a 16-bit track. Like, there's just something about the instrumentation that just sounds so high quality. Like for example, the cymbal sounds.
It's the use of the drums that definitely helps. It's like,
yeah,
okay. The reason Tommy works out is like, well, he's using quite possibly some of the let's call them easiest instruments to emulate on an SNES sound chip. It's like, well, he's not going for like, you know, the high quality sounding tunes that obviously you would be able to tell are there. It's like you said, he's using stuff like the cymbals, you know, he's making good use of percussion here. Percussion is definitely some of the most easiest sound to emulate without sounding, you know, phony.
Yeah, like that's an interesting thing. Tommy was an absolute master of the Mega Drive sound chip. I would argue that he did a lot of soundtracks that were even better than some of Sega's composers. Because very rarely do you see Mega Drive soundtracks that sound this good. Alright, moving on.
Almost weird that he didn't get a job with... Oh god, can you imagine, Pedro? Tommy Tallarico having a crossover with Crush 40.
Well, we already had that in Sonic and the Black Knight, remember? He composed a couple tracks for that game.
He did?
He did.
Well, speak of the devil, how come that never came up during our Sonic and the Black Knight commentary?
I didn't mention it, and I do kind of regret that, admittedly, yeah. All right, so let me give you the tracks he made. Might as well do it here. Why not?
Was one of them possibly Fight the Night, the instrumentals?
No. That was all June, obviously. But I mean, that's one of them.
So I'm guessing so he did.
One of the things that I love about Sonic and the Black Knight soundtrack is they brought back two Mega Drive veterans, Tommy and Howard Drawson, aka the composer of Sonic and Knuckles, and Comic Zone. Let me just get it. Or is it Tales of Knighthood? Tales of Knighthood. Here you go. Tales of Knighthood.
Oh, jeez.
There you go. All right, Tommy. There you go. Tommy did Molten Mine, which is great because
nice.
I love that track. So awesome.
Me too.
What else? He did Great Megalith. Oh, of course. Great.
Did you do Titanic Plains?
No, Titanic Plains. I don't think he did. Okay, hold on. He also did the Cauldron, aka the Dragon stage. No, Titanic Plains. I think that was done by June. If I remember. No, Titanic Plain was done by June. Yeah. Oh, Drossen did Crystal Cave. Oh, cool. Anyway, yeah. Here, might as well show you, because he actually does have a part in the booklet of the soundtrack where he does talk about the experience of working on the game.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me a moment. Right.
Oh, jeez. It's interesting how Cool Spot still also retains his high-pitching scream whenever he gets hit.
Yeah, it's reused from the first game. Here you go. Here's Tommy's statement on the booklet of the Sonic and the Black Knight soundtrack. My two greatest passions growing up were always video games and music, and I've been a big fan of Sonic since the beginning. After being a great composer for over 18 years, it was such a great surprise and honor when June asked me to be a part of this project. As big as both Japan and America are in the creation of video games, it's a rare occurrence to have both countries working together on a soundtrack. I hope this is something that we will see more happen more in the industry in the future. Thank you for the honor of listening to my music.
It's funny he says something about that being more of a thing in the future, seeing as how nowadays we've got an American and a Portuguese man working alongside Crush 40 on Team Sonic Racing.
Again, this is exactly why I do not understand why can't they allow Jun to compose for a main game again? Because
Sega Japan are weird with their decisions.
I mean, again, don't get me wrong. I love Otani, but he's so clearly burned out. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. The basic point is, yeah, you can go this particular platforming section. If you do it, you'll be able to get there. Oh, look at Doggy.
Okay.
Oh, you were saying, Jova? Sorry.
I found the manual.
Go ahead.
Although I can't seem to find any story bits. I did find some funny explanations, though, about the worlds, if you want to read that.
By all means, read Ship and Ship Hold, since that's the one we're doing right now. There you go, there's a key. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. God, let me zoom this out and in. Okay. Lights, camera, let's get rolling! In the great big cinematic adventure of Spot Goes to Hollywood, you'll travel through 3 distinct film worlds, plus bonus areas, if you can unlock the secret to access these. Each film world has several subplots, or levels as we call them. Be sure to explore and discover everything that you can in each world. Your ultimate goal is to discover every world, every level, and every world. The more you discover, the more options and bonuses will open themselves up to you. Your main goal is to collect all 5 golden stars in each level. You'll want to aim to finish the game with a perfect percentage if you're really good. So that means get good.
So basically, it's an old school game in pretty much every way. It's not so much about story; it's more about getting high scores and all that shit.
I guess the odd thing is that there's no story even in the manual. That feels weird.
Well, for the time, that was acceptable, I would argue.
I guess it's a bit of a shame because, dude, Cool Spot going to Hollywood. How could you not make a plot out of that? You could even make a flume one. Anyway, the Pirate Perils. Yo ho ho! A pirate's life for me. There's much more hidden in this Davy Jones locker than 16 dead men and a bottle of rum.
Pirate jokes. Go ahead.
You're starting out your high sea adventures at the tail end of a swashbuckling pirate ship ever rigged for the high seas. It's your job to push forward to the front and battle the 8-legged sea monster.
Yeah.
But be careful, you landlubber. There's high sea battle going on as you push your way forward. Watch out for the backfiring cannons and keep your little red head from getting bonked by avoiding the incoming cannonballs. You can tell they're coming by the shadows on the deck and the incoming whistling sound. Be sure to push and pull around the various cargo items that are stowed on board. They may help you reach items that are out of reach or reveal secret rooms, areas, or levels. And remember to try all those warp columns.
Indeed.
And pretty much it describes the other levels here and there. I guess I should wait until we get to those.
La. I love that. I love that particular soundbite. La. Why?
I mean, I guess it is kind of a shame that there's no wacky narrative. Like, I'll give the first cool spot this, at least we had to go up against the never-seen Wicked Willie.
Shiphold. And now underwater.
I like the descriptions, though, but I do miss the elaborate as all heck, ridiculous story.
Gotta love the generic
Sonic
name,
R.
Underwater World.
Okay, are we all in agreement, though? Sonic R still takes the cake for its in-the-manual story.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Technically, Jova, there's Microcosm. Basically, Jova, Microcosm has a 15-page story in the manual, and then it has like this 20-something page appendix describing all the planets of the solar system and shit like that, and it's such a boring read.
Sonic Labyrinth story is also pretty.
Well, Pedro. I was talking about in terms of being fun and insane, but okay.
All right.
So okay. So is Microcosm's in the game manual story actually insane, or is it just boring?
It's mostly just boring. Basically, Jova. Here's the basic plot. There's someone who's trying to steal information from the brain of a president, and you have to stop them from doing it. And the game somehow manages to extend that basic outline to 10 pages of text.
And they make it boring? Dude, that sounds like every 7-year-old's coolest dream to try and save the president's brain. How do you make that boring?
They found a way.
God dang it.
Interesting.
Sometimes I have to wonder if science has gone too far.
So yeah, the big difference between this level and the other ones is that you can actually swim, and you can basically just, instead of jumping, you press the jump button to swim higher. So basically, this particular level operates on has an additional axis in your movement, in the sense that you can literally move upward. So basically, it's all about swimming and exploring again.
So essentially, like the first game, this is mainly a collectathon. Just get as much as you can and then exit the level.
Basically, yeah. Again, basically the predecessor to what we would see in Mario 64 and Rare's platformers in their golden age.
Well, Mario 64 was kind of sort of a collectathon, but not the traditional one. More like in the sense you could pretty much do whatever you pick. But yeah, Banjo and Kazooie, that definitely applies. I guess I have to wonder, so what are the overall rewards for getting more of this or that, since there's not really much of a narrative and
just points. Well, like you were saying in the manual, Joe, but this is very much an old school game in every way. Like just the game itself is just basically on the gameplay. That's play for the sake of gameplay, basically.
I get that. Older games normally at least had that sense of narrative, so that it. Okay, maybe it was just me as a kid, but reading the story of a manual did definitely give me a good sense of purpose.
I agree.
Purpose,
Sure.
Not to say that I absolutely needed it, but I guess it does feel like something's kind of missing when they don't even really give a narrative for this game. Not
look, guys, a 7-Up gave me an extra life.
Gee, what a shock.
Hold on. No, okay, so this particular act has a boss fight, so we're gonna get it right now.
Yeah,
so
I
you
also
trigger
liked reading the blurbs and character profiles from video game manuals.
Yeah, sadly that we don't
and
really.
It is something I do kind of miss. So.
Yeah. I think I know why. It's having a good narrative does at least help with your creativity, and helping move things around. And I'll admit here it is just kind of random stuff, and it feels weird that there's not even some kind of general consensus for what the narrative is.
Fair to say, design-wise, these octopus kind of sticks out.
I think it
Also,
looks.
isn't he supposed to have 8 legs, like the description said?
Is this an octopus? I don't know if it is.
It has.
It has hands, but otherwise, yeah.
Well, my guess is the designers were just feeling quirky, and with but it's beautifully animated. I'll give it that.
Oh yeah.
Keeping in tradition with the games made by David's team. So there you go.
Boom. He goes out with a smile on his face, I guess.
Okay, we get it. Explode. Okay.
Cool mongus.
Cool mongus. Dude.
This was made in the 90s too. So.
Azapi Bij.
Alright, so we've colored the first page.
Oh, there's even a coffee stain with tea.
Yeah.
Calling you now, there's going to be an ending cutscene that turns out that this is just making the game.
Alright, so next part we go to the haunted house and the pumpkin castle. So
From a pirate ship to a haunted house and a pumpkin castle.
it's a video
Sounds
game.
like Tuesday.
Alright, see you everybody.
See ya.
Ta-ta.
Yeah.